Hey everybody, welcome back to Constant Agitation, your weekly podcast. I'm Jimmy, and as always joined by Eva.
Hi everyone.
Sorry for the late start today. Eva got a booking yesterday for a shoot that kind of was in the same time slot as the podcast. And it was, work is work. So we had to push it a little bit. The plan was to do it at 9, but then I took a very, very powerful nap when she was away. And I was supposed to be preparing. So when she comes home, we'll be ready to go live. But then, yeah, the nap was way too powerful, so I basically started prepping at 9. I'm still buzzed from that nap.
I tried to call you for an hour, and it was like you were
Doesn't
going to
work.
another dimension, I think.
Definitely, I was like maybe 2-3 dimensions, in.
Deep.
But yeah, we hope not all of you are sleeping already.
It's the summer nap. Summer naps are nice.
Yeah, it was warm and toasty. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about today. Most importantly, we have to announce the giveaway winner.
Yes.
Exciting
Our first
stuff,
giveaway.
right?
Yeah.
So we tallied up the entries, and we got 57
Yeah.
entries.
Devon's there.
Hi, Devin. Yeah, I was in dark places. I'm really still not fully awake, to be honest with
It's
you.
gonna be a fun episode.
Yeah, let's hope I don't get myself into
I'll try
too much of a trouble.
to be alert.
Right. It's not wise that I have to click all the buttons here today. So let's get the giveaway winner announcement out of the way.
Yeah. let's
First
do
thing
that.
first.
57 entries.
Yes, we had
Some
57.
known people, some other people that apparently were following us for some time, but they were shy and never commented. So it's very nice to see that people care.
Yeah. So you found this random picker,
Random name picker, yes.
and we have all the entries here.
Yep.
Then I'm gonna copy. So here, all the entries that we were able to verify that it's a real account.
Mm-hmm. They are not showing, by the way, but just so you know.
Oh, no? Yes,
No.
they are on the right
Oh,
side.
now yes. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, it's the delay, I guess.
All right. And then I can put them here.
Yeah.
I tried to get a drum roll sound effect. But
We can do it.
I found a bunch of them. They have the brrr, but they don't have the pa at the end. So I was like, nah, it's not worth it. It's not worth the trouble me putting in if it's not going to give me the last, the snare hit at the end. What do you call it? Rim shot, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
So let's do this.
All right.
Are you
Hi,
guys
everyone that join us. You are being witness of the random picking of the giveaway
All right.
winner.
You want to do the drum roll?
Do This is so awkward. Yeah.
You're so much more excited and full of energy than I am.
Yes, for sure.
It wouldn't be a
Alright.
drum roll if I
Alright,
did.
alright. Yeah, by the way, we have there the 3-step randomness process certification in case anybody wants to have proof that we are clean. We
Yeah.
have it. Okay, so
hold on a second. Hold on a
alright.
second. I just realized I forgot something very important.
What did you forget?
I forgot my my style light. Oh, I don't know what you call it. There you go.
Yeah,
There you
sure.
go. Now it's much better. All right.
Your key light? Or no, it's not key light.
It's filled- I don't know.
Spotlight. Or no, either.
I don't know what to call
Whatever. Fun light.
All right. Give me a drum roll.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Wait. We have to
Wait,
scroll
down.
Wait.
And the winner is...
And the winner is... what did I do?
No, it's there. Don't worry.
I clicked the wrong button.
No, it's there. I see it. Ariesat Yapatra Crash. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's an Insta giveaway. Insta entry, I guess.
I think that's the guy or girl.
Yeah, this is
There you
it.
go. Oh, cool photos.
Nice.
Well, congratulations to Arya Satai Prakash.
Y-
Prakash.
Prakash. Yeah. Ariasat
That's a
Prakash.
very difficult name to me to read
Yes.
when I'm still not fully awake. So excuse me, Arya. I'm gonna call you Arya. So yeah, we will. Can I send him a DM right now?
I
How do I send
believe in the
somebody?
3 dots, I think.
No, here. No.
So you have to follow them, maybe.
Okay. If I do this, there I can send a message.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations. This is very interesting content. So I'm gonna. Oh no, I can just keep you here. You can tell us how was your shoot?
My shoot, you mean my concert shoot?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very nice. He was incredible guitarist from Brazil, and the thing is that it was supposed to be 1 hour, 7 to 8. So
Mhm.
I thought, okay, put it the podcast at 9. I come home, we had time to prepare nicely. But is one of these persons that is so passionate about what he's doing that when he's on the flow, he just didn't stop. He continued and one song and another song, and it was 8:20, 8:25. I'm like, when is he gonna finish? And also you could feel that the concert wasn't done because the energy was still kind of like on the low side, and you know these people really end concerts with like amazing tracks which just gives you like all the energy to go from there. So I'm like, this is not happening yet. And then it was like, I think 9:25 to 9 or something, and then he just started like going super strong and fast and like he was playing so intensely.
That video that you sent me, I just saw it.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy intense.
He was playing so intensely that the guitar was getting out of tune while he was playing, and he was tuning it while he was playing.
Crazy.
It's a virtuose person of the guitar. It's called Yamandu Costa. If any one of you like guitar.
Yamandukos?
Yeah, Yamandu Costa.
Okay, I think I'm mishearing the pronunciation.
Yamandu.
Okay, can you spell it out for me?
YAM. Yeah, AN.
Yeah.
Mandu.
DU.
Yeah, space
Yeah, I can
Costa.
see it. Yamandu Costa.
He's been nominated for the Grammys at some point.
This guy.
Yeah, it's just like, and he seems so fun. He was making jokes in between the faces and and he was hugging the guitar while he was playing at some points, like incredible.
He seems really fun.
Apparently he didn't go to school or anything. He was just playing guitar since he was 5 years old. That's all he has ever done, just playing guitar. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean that clip, it was like what, 15 seconds? It sounded like there
was
was 7 people playing the guitar, and I'm not easily impressed because
right.
I'm into
that
guitar,
you would like
so
it,
you know
yeah.
I've been watching guitarists play my whole life. Like I don't know if anybody's familiar with the G3 concerts. I used to wait for these like crazy, and I know these are electric, but still like that's where a lot of people do crazy stuff. But when I saw that clip, I was like, whoa, I can't believe I missed this.
And this, because when I started recording in that track, he had already go down in the tempo and a little bit down in the picking, in the arpeggios, but it was just like insane. Like
it was crazy because it sounded like he was playing fast arpeggios with a solo together.
So because he was using these fingers independent of these two fingers. So he was playing a different rhythm with these two, and then these ones with the arpeggios.
Insane.
Crazy. Like I would get like goosebumps when I was at the concert. So it's been really nice to be photographing it.
Right. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I wish I went.
Yeah.
But I had business in other realms. So yeah. That concludes the giveaway, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have to do next on the schedule? Oh, I'm going to go back to Instagram. How do I do this? Hold on. Let me turn off the display for a second. And if I go here.
You are going to show us your photos of the day?
Yeah, so I have a few favorites.
Nice.
All right. Of the week.
Sorry.
Yeah, so this one is by, I think his name is Axel. Yeah, Axel P. He's relatively, he has 1,800 followers, decent amount, deserves more, I feel. And I really like this photo. I think you're going to like this profile. I don't know if I was following him a while ago or if I stumbled into it, but a lot of these like nicely composed, like
very
this one is really nice.
Nice.
And cool tones as well.
The tones,
Every
tones.
time now the word tones is just unusable anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think
find another tagline.
I don't think I used it as much before. You know, the word before it became frowned upon. Because I see it in memes all the time. It's ingrained in my brain, and I want to use it seriously, and I'm not allowed.
Yeah.
So
it's let's maybe call it the color grading or the color choice or
But that's not what I mean.
You mean the vibes?
No, I mean the tones. Or the hues. Can I say hues?
The hues, yeah.
Yeah, because like you can, like the color, like this blue or this kind of beige.
Yeah.
And this white with the kind of like cyan because of the water layer over the white stairs.
Mm-hmm. So pretty. This
there
one.
are specific hues of these colors, right? They're not. It's not just any blue or any. You know, there's a there's a way to have these, and I don't know if they're edited or if they're lap scans or whatever.
I mean, I
just enjoy
I
them.
really love this shot. Like also even the shadows of the can with the shadows on the stair in the end. Like everything just feels
Yeah, these two
together.
parallels.
Yeah, these two parallels there. Whereas you have all the curves on the other direction, so you have like
It's a baroque.
lines
It's
and
a
curves, and
it's a baroque diagonal, like
Yeah.
because you have this
Mhm.
one here and the
That one.
perpendicular here.
yeah.
Even though this one doesn't align, it's a parallel of the 90 degree one.
Mhm.
So it's my favorite composition. Like
Yeah.
it's just so fun to shoot with. So I think maybe that's why this image caught my eye,
Mhm.
and I like the off balance of it. That kind of makes it more interesting
Mhm.
with this kind of sliding in a way here, and so I really like this one.
Really cool.
What else do we have? We have actually two from friends of the channel
Nice.
that we like, really cool people that we met on Discord as well.
Mhm.
The first one is Gwendal, and I don't know if you know, it's Herluk.
Hair look.
I
Okay,
think
yeah.
it's Herluk from, I think it's the same
From film
person.
photography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's the same person. And I mean, his profile
Yeah.
is full of cool stuff. This one I really like. He posted a while ago. He shared one on Discord. I was hoping that he posted it, but not yet, of this collection here when he shot a bunch of
35 panos.
panos. He got some accidental ones, but he got one, and I don't know if, since he didn't share it on social media,
Mhm.
I was thinking of asking him, but I forgot. he took some panos, and I think the film kind of tilted inside the camera,
Mhm.
and so you have a level horizon, but the film itself is like this.
So it's like a picture taken and horizontal on the pano.
Yeah. But the film is not aligned with the horizon,
Oh, okay.
and I really like it. You saw it in the
I
in
think
the Discord.
yeah. Hi, Lucia.
Oh, it is him.
Yeah.
He's confirming that he has a lot of aliases. He has really cool stuff. I really love these open.
Those ones, yeah. That one is one
by
of my
the
favorite.
beach.
I love it.
And like, he doesn't often post color, but this one, look at these colors. Look at these tones. I mean, no, really, I really like it. So yeah, he has a bunch of those. I think this is the one that I first showed. No, it's a different one.
This one's so pretty.
I really
Actually,
like
now
how
that
open they are.
that we're here looking at this kind of photo, I got a question from someone that wants us to address it in the podcast, even though they didn't leave the question themselves. How to meter for the sky on film,
Yeah.
especially if you're using a camera, not like a spot meter or something like that. Like if
Just
you-
remember what it's gonna be.
yeah,
Just
right.
remember the EV of the sky. It's easy.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's often gonna be. It depends on the time of the day, or the direction where you're pointing in the sky,
Mhm.
and it's gonna be between, like, depending on where you live and what time it is, anywhere between 13 EV and 21, 23.
That's like crazy.
It's a really big range.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's still,
You can adjust sky and not get anything of the rest.
yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you're not gonna want to point only
Ah,
on the sky at the, like,
Well, this is an
noon.
interesting question because someone also in the Discord, they were discussing if you have these like very magnificent clouds, like they have a lot of body and they have a lot of different tonality within them. How do you do to meter so you actually get the most amount of the tonal range in that frame? And it's just talking about clouds and sky. And that's also interesting. Do you actually try the midtones? Do you try the...
So because here, Gwendal is mentioning that
yeah.
point your camera up and down and compare the values. So that's assuming that the camera has a built-in meter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Were they? Because from the way you phrased the question, I thought they have like a handheld incident meter.
No. Just like with the camera.
Okay, well, the
Yeah.
camera is pointed at the sky.
Yeah, but then you might get underexposed on the other parts of the image if you want to have some detail also in this bottom part and not.
Well,
only
then
the
you do
sky.
exactly
Yeah,
what
but-
he's saying. That so
Mhm.
basically you take a reading towards the sky, take another reading eliminating the sky,
Mhm.
and then this is your mate. Like, I mean, most cameras have spot, so you can just point it at whatever you want.
Mhm.
Like, I know that the SLRs that I use have a spot meter.
Yeah, or average center weight. It depends.
Really?
Like the Minoltas have an average center weight.
Right. The F3 has a spot though.
I am not fully sure right now, actually.
It doesn't matter.
Mm.
I mean, I usually just point and shoot with the F3. Basically, I don't really. I just kind of trust it to. I sometimes, if it's a very contrasty scene, like last time I went with you to the same event you shot today, you remember the sky was very bright.
Yeah.
But
And the reflections.
the scene, the stage where the musicians were, it was in double shade basically, because the whole area was shaded because it was like an indoor garden, not an indoor, but like a, what do you call it?
Yeah, it's an indoor garden.
Yeah.
Like it has some
There
walls
are
around.
some walls around, and they're quite high, like 3 stories.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, the musicians were covered. So whatever reflected light was coming from one of the walls, it was being also
Kind of given that,
yeah. So as Andrew is saying, you just point up. I noticed whenever there's a sky in my shot, I just make sure to fill the sky and fill the frame with the sky,
Mm-hmm.
and I will get a number and say like maybe like 2,000 of a second with whatever aperture I was using. And then when I go back down, it would say maybe 2/50th of a second. If I just turn to the wall, like find a green plant that is kind of dark,
Mm-hmm.
it will go maybe even less, like to 60th of a second. So I know, okay, this is gonna be my shadows. So I'm good at 1/25th or 2/50th of a second. It depends on how much shadows do I want to preserve.
Mm-hmm.
If this guy in the shot, because I know I was shooting portrait, so I know that portrait will handle like a lot of stops over. So I wasn't worried, and the shots actually came out. The sky came out better than your digital Canon shots. Only the sky. Everything else, I wasn't shooting as much. I shot like a roll and a half, or actually 2 rolls.
2 rolls, yeah.
Counting the medium format that I shot as well. But anyways, we got sidetracked.
Mm-hmm.
Really love these photos. I don't know what to call them now. Luke, Wendell, or Andrew. It's so confusing, man. But yeah, I really like your work. Keep it up. And go check him out. I mean, look at these photos. And we have one more one. Do you know who it is? Wait, no, this is the wrong page. All right. It's another friend of the channel, and it's Mr. Huno himself.
Yeah, Mr. Huno has been taking really cool photos lately.
Yeah. This one is really cool.
He
super clean, very nice composition, nice tones, and he's using one of my favorite films, so I gotta give him big ups for that. Tri-X 400. I mean, I don't know what you're doing with 400, but do you, man. It's like, because I can't say where he is, but he's somewhere very sunny. So
it's so nice because it even, the exposure is, and like there is something about it that it looks like it could be like a fake backdrop for a movie.
Yeah.
It's a flat thing.
Yeah, like there's like a cardboard thing.
Put it something there. Yeah, or even like maybe it just looks like a movie set for some reason, right? It's really cool. And I've seen some other of the recent work that I don't know, he posted it on Insta. I'm sorry, I'm not so good on Insta.
This one is really
I think
nice.
The previous one is the one my favorite.
Which one? This one? Of course it is.
I really like it. Yeah.
That's your kind of stuff. He finally got to try FP4. And he's happy with the results. I mean, look at how beautiful and contrasty this one is. I really like this one. He immediately tagged me on Discord when he got these shots. He's like, you were right, FP4 is also. I was like, yeah. But yeah, I'm happy he's going out and making photos. These look good. Keep it up, man. And go check him out. Because I always say, like, whenever we look at the questions, because the tag is there. So like, go follow each other. And Huno is usually very active with the questions. But yeah, I feel like just a name on the screen is like not enough to kind of like make these relationships happen.
Yeah.
Gotta show their work because there's a lot of talented people.
And also, I feel like we've been knowing him since we joined the Discord at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I feel like I see him doing a lot of progress.
Yeah.
Like his photos have become so good. Like,
yeah, I mean,
or maybe before I didn't pay so much attention, or he didn't post so much. But I feel like now I see a lot of things that I'm like every time, wow, I really like this.
I think he was busy with school for a long period, so I think now he has some more free time to shoot. But yeah, I know he's looking forward to work on a zine or a
documentary work. Yeah,
documentary work. So I'm really looking forward to what he comes up with next.
Definitely.
But from the looks of things, he's gonna be doing just fine. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
A lot of support, man.
So, yeah, remember to go follow each other. Maybe we should start leaving links in the description as
Yes, for sure. That'd be.
well. We can update the previous episode as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that concludes that segment of the episode, I guess.
Yes.
And oh, hi, Chronic. She's saying marhaba and like hola marhaba.
Chronic fish.
Yeah.
Chronic fish. Sorry, I didn't say
Yeah.
marhaba. Yeah, thank you. Hola.
So thank you for greeting us in our native languages.
Yes.
And so, yeah, today we have a cool photographer to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
It's one. So, all right. So we talked about what is the name of this group of guys that keep popping up on this podcast?
They don't really have a name. Well, they are part of the photo-succesion group or wave, so to speak,
Yeah.
that we already talked with Alfred Stieglitz.
Yeah.
Remember that he was like a key person into
This guy.
Yeah, Alfred. Yeah, Stieglitz. That guy, the mustache guy. That's how he should be known.
And I often talk about this guy.
Which we still have not really gone through his work deeply on the
Yeah.
podcast, but it will happen at some point. Kun. And then
We also talked about this guy not last
No.
week, but during Alfred Stieglitz's episode,
we talked about him because he also
Eugene.
did. Yeah. And then we have the last one in this photo, which is Edward Steichen, I think it's pronounced.
Mhm.
Edward Steichen. Born in Luxembourg, but he spent a lot of time of his life in the US. He was an American citizen, and also he spent a lot of time in France. And we're going to talk about him because it feels like we were missing somewhat a leg of a table to be like on the grounds of what happened during the beginning of the 19th century when it comes to photography. And we keep bringing up these concepts of like pictorialism, and then how things change into more like straight photography. Also, it's an art form, and all these kind of tensions between different kind of photographers. And Edward Steichen was a key player into making pictorialism and photography as an art as it was known back then.
Mhm.
He is actually considered the person that transformed photography into an art form, and he started working in the late 1800s. 1895 is when he got his first camera, and he worked all to his late 70s, 70-year-olds when he retired. I think that was in the mid-century, more or less, like 1960 or something. If I remember correctly.
What kind of camera is this?
So this one I don't know.
This is he's holding many things. Okay, so this is a folder camera
Yeah.
resting on an aerial camera. It seems like he's aboard the plane.
Yeah, he's
Or
on
something,
on a naval ship during the Second World War. He was not really battling in the Second World War, but he was appointed to take some photography commissions and some photography work. And he actually got like some medals, and he was ordained captain after in the Second World War. He was also pretty involved. He was an admiral on the First World War, so he was in both World Wars, which is kind of crazy, right? Yeah, and this is one of the later photos. This is in 1943.
Yeah.
So he's here. I want you guys to think about that at the beginning of photography coming up as something that existed, so a way to capture what it was in front of you, these cameras. For a while you had, the people that were making money off of photography as commercial photographers. You had then the amateur photographers, and then you had those that considered themselves artists and art photographers. And in order to distinguish themselves from the people that were doing commercial photography or amateur photography with the new Kodak cameras that were supposed to, like, they were advertised as you click the button and we do the rest. Yeah. So they try to make their photos as much as paintings as possible with incredibly complicated, intricate, and complex processes after taking the photo. Not only while recording the negative, but making the print. This is what really made a difference into what was the end result of that photograph. So these photos that we're going to see now, it's the most that we have shown that will really remind you of paintings.
Yeah,
overall.
like this one, for example.
Like that one, for example, yeah. He actually was an aspiring painter when he started, and he became the most known photographer for this soft focus and artistic style.
Oh, look at this
Yeah,
one.
so this one, this one we can, if you want, we can actually go now deep into it, because this is his most popular photo ever.
I mean, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, this photo is called the Pond Moonlight, and it was taken in 1904. 1904. And I want you to think that in 1904, autochrome had not yet been developed or used. So there was no color photograph. So he was able to get these tones by doing incredible amount of work while making the print, using different gum arabica mixes with different pigments and tints, and then working in layers and then creating this effect.
Crazy. Okay? So basically, okay, hold on a second.
Yeah.
So, okay, how much do you know about this?
I mean, I know.
So my question is that did he take it and like? So because you're saying a print. So it's not a dry plate. It's.
I mean, I think he probably took it on a plate, but what he so then made in color was the print.
So it's a black and white.
Yeah, it's a black and white photo at 3 a.m, I think, somewhere.
And then he added the color
on post.
In post using photographic process, basically.
Yeah, photographic processes. Yeah, mostly with light sensitive gums to the paper. So
he used a black and white, let's call it negative, to make a color print. Which with
no real colors, with the colors that are interpreted by him.
Whatever he wanted to basically add. That's so cool.
So there are only 3 prints of this photo ever made. 2 are in museums, and 1 was sold in 2006 as the most expensive photograph till that date.
Crazy.
For $2.9 million.
That's the same. I mean, look.
US dollars.
But
it was because of the uniqueness of it. Because it's
exactly.
Like
look,
nothing.
I'm not trying to throw shade on more recent photographs that are more expensive. But this is like, it's worth it, I feel like, because of the history element to it, like the significant historical significance. What?
Yeah. The
value,
historical value.
I said significant twice. I'm still, I warned you guys. I'm still not fully awake. Anyways, it's so beautiful, this one.
Yeah, I mean, you can open the Met Museum page. I left it in the list of the photographs we're going to talk about. It's called the Pond Moonlight. And you can maybe read whatever it says there on the side. If you can see, this one looks a little bit different than the one we were seeing on the other side. It's because there are 3 prints, and each are completely unique with different layers. They look different, but they are all from the same negative.
From the same. That's crazy. Using a painstaking technique of multiple printing, I can't say station. It feels weird to say station. Achieved prints of such painterly seductiveness, they have never been equaled. This view of the pond in the woods at Mamaroneck,
yeah.
New York, is subtly colored as Whistler's Nocturnes.
Nocturnes, yeah. This is a series of paintings by Whistler.
And like them is a tone poem of twilight, in distinction and suggestiveness. Commenting on such pictures in 1910, Charles Chaffin wrote in Camera Work. Camera Work is the same magazine that they...
Stieglitz, yeah. So we're going to talk about that too.
It is in the penumbra,
yeah.
between the clear visibility of things and the total extinction into darkness. When concreteness of... I'm sorry, I can't see because I'm looking at the monitor like this. When the concreteness of appearances become merged in half-realized, half-baffled vision. That spirit seems to disengage itself from matter to envelop it with a mystery of soul suggestion.
This reminds me the topic and the conceptualization of it a little bit like those photos of Gregory Crewdson, which it was a series called Twilight, which it also looks into this, what is happening between the light and the darkness.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And exactly that, very, very similar. And if you see the photos from Crewdson, the tones that he used in those photos are actually very similar to what we're seeing here from
especially if you look at this version of it.
Yeah, right?
I mean, I have a feeling that even though it looks different, it might be also to the scan that we're looking at.
It could be, but
this screen.
But the three prints are different. Like what I read is that the three prints are actually
different. I bet for sure. I mean, it's not a mechanical process. They're gonna come out different. Even if you try to do some darkroom printing now with all of the timers and the manufactured paper, is hard to kind of like match two prints of the same negative. So imagine if you're doing such a crazy process.
And also it's quite big, right? You can see the object.
Yeah, I was looking. It's 15 what
40 centimeters times 50 centimeters, so not small.
No, yeah, it's a good size. Really cool photo.
Very, very nice. So the way that the Stieglitz kind of was Steichen's mentor for a really long time. They met when he was going from New York on a travel to going to Paris, and he brought some photos with him, and Stieglitz was like blown away. He directly bought 3 photos from him directly to have in his collection at $5 each, when he had never sold a print for more than 50 cents before. So he was like completely elated and like, really, you like my work so much? And since that moment, that was in the early 1900s, they kept a close collaboration and a close relationship. And as you were saying, Steichen was the...
Let's call him Edward.
Edward was the photographer most published on camera work throughout this the history of camera work as well. And he had a couple of solo exhibitions at the Gallery 291 in Fifth Avenue, and they were working a lot closer together. Until Steichen kind of started to drift apart from the way that Stieglitz was seeing photography, or where photography was going. As we were talking about in Stieglitz's episode, he was really up for like what is upcoming, where are the trends going, what is art in photography. And then we know pictorialism kind of faded away for a more straight photography art form, and Stieglitz went with it, and it was backing up a lot of these new painted photographers coming and going. And Edward was kind of stuck a little bit, and so their visions drifted apart. And at some point, Edward started to take commercial jobs and working as a fashion photographer, and apparently Stieglitz was like, this is like heresy, and their relationship really kind of broke apart because of the different ways that artistically were going, so to speak. So that's an interesting tidbit of information.
For sure.
So what else are we seeing here? Here we're seeing some photos.
This is a self-portrait.
Self-portraits of him. That's the one I used for the episode entry.
I mean, look at these. It's such a nice photo. I really like the depth of field here with the... It's so cool. It's so amazing. Like something about these old photos just makes me so happy to look at every week.
He also, I mean, even though he was doing this very soft focus, very painterly, artistic, pictorialist type of photos, he also has some still lifes and some abstract shots that I really, really like. And also he always, in different parts of his life, he wanted to kind of go back to painting and drawing, which is what he started with. So I also found online some patterns and some printed textiles that are also pretty cool.
Like we passed by one. Those
Those
What's
are
up with this one? It's really cool. It's a chicken.
It's a chicken, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
but he kind of always found himself back to photography, which is what he was
I mean,
doing
for sure. Like, think about it. It's basically at this time, it was. I mean, if it makes sense that all the photographers from this era had a strong relationship to painting. I mean, till nowadays, there's a lot of people who are photographers and start to paint, or painters and pick up a camera and enjoy it. The two art forms are very interconnected because basically, it's your end product is very similar. It's just a different way of how it becomes, you know. And so, like, this to me just looks like a still life painting. Like, when you start practicing, you just like put a bowl of fruit in and draw it, and then naturally, under criticism or for whatever reason, people would want to separate themselves eventually from this with the, like movement like the Group 64, Group F64, who were like, no, a photo is a photo. You should be able to clearly see that it's a photo.
And it
Not
has
a
value in
photograph.
it as well.
Yeah.
Because here in this moment, what was happening is that the people that were using still photography and straight photography, like those commercial photographers or the amateurs, everyone that had a camera that didn't have access to actually do darkroom stuff, these people were like, oh, if you don't have the skills and you don't have the access to really work with your photo and make your print as you want and using these techniques, you are not an artist. Because using these techniques, which give you these results, is what is artistic about it, right? Rather than just because they look like paintings, they're artistic. It's more about still photographs are easy. That's basically what they were saying. They don't need the skills. They don't need the work that we put on in these pieces of work. And the thought and the, like you just click a button and you get, which is, we are still having the same conversation today.
Yeah, so I see the idea, I see the argument that, like, so if let's say I take a photo now of anything, and then I go into the makeshift darkroom that we have in the bathroom, and I make a print, and I'm not really good at printing, and I'm like, I made art, I mean, I understand somebody that has much better skills in the darkroom. So, for example, we did some experiments in the darkroom. We tried to play with the distribution of the developer or fixer on the photo.
Yeah.
We actually also tried to fix the photo before we develop it partially. So we did some experiments. And, we know we were just playing around, but somebody might look at these results and be like, wow, this is amazing. That's the thing. They have the right to think so. Right? And I think we also talked about this last week, is that how do you measure skills in art? It's not like, for example, if you look at the Olympics now happening, so if you look at the basic, most simple thing, weightlifting, the person who's going to lift the heaviest weight
wins,
is the best.
Yeah.
It's very straightforward. But when you talk about music, when you talk about photography, filmmaking, any kind of art, really, dancing, how do you measure that? Maybe dancing, there is some criteria, because it's almost a sport in some types of dancing, at least. Like, for some reason I started thinking of figure skating, but let's not talk about dancing. All right. But if you look at other things, like music, how do you measure how good a music piece is if we can't agree that one form is ultimate? I mean, for the longest time, people will say classical music is the only real music, but that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I mean, the classical music is not even worldwide. A lot of people don't think about that, but like the classical music is based on the theory of the scale from, I don't know, what do you call them in English?
Pentatonic?
No. What do you call them in English? Like, the do re mi?
Yeah.
In French and Spanish and stuff.
Yeah.
In English, it's
A, B, whatever.
it doesn't start. It
G.
starts C.
C?
Yeah,
See
it's
how
from
much I
C
know.
to A. But that's the C major scale.
Yeah.
But like that music theory is not worldwide again.
Yeah.
Like, for example, in the East, not the Far East, but like in the Middle East, like Turkey, Syria, and these kind of countries, we have quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, and I'm not talking about time signature. I'm talking about notes that doesn't exist on the scale.
Yeah, that sounds super weird if you're not used to them.
When people hear them, they would think that your instrument is out of tune. And then if you go to the Far East, you have the Tuvan throat singing, for example, the polyphonic
music is
styles
very
of singing.
different.
And to them, being able to sing polyphonically, for example, in the Far East, that's a skill. That's a skilled singer. With all Pavarotti's, skill in singing opera, that maybe doesn't mean anything. Hey, man, can you do overtone? And overtone or polyphonic, I'm referring to the same thing with two names, but they're slightly different, is when you make two or more sounds from your throat at the same time. So you make two different notes. It's called throat singing. If you want to check it out, you will find a lot of weird stuff on the internet. But you also, if you put in Tuvan throat singing, you will see what I'm. So they use these very simple string instruments, and they sing over it. And that's it's very popular in Mongolia and that type of area, the world, that part of the world. There's also the Sufi, one of my favorite artists, Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. I think that's his name. And it's basically kind of a form of prayer, but it's beautiful. You know how much I jam to these songs, even though I have no idea what they're saying. They're chanting and they're basically praising their deities, but it's so beautiful to me, and it doesn't sound like anything else. Why am I on a music rant? I don't know.
Basically, the art could be a lot of stuff.
This combo is getting deep. That's right, AAA.
AAA. Nice. Yeah, so this is what was happening, that they were just like, okay, if you don't do all these things to your photos are not art. And at some point that changed. And some people got stuck in the old ways, and some people embraced the new ways. And that made some dent into some photographers' relationships, which is interesting.
It is. I mean, people get too serious about things sometimes.
Yeah, so here we're seeing...
Do you want me to jump to a specific gallery?
A specific gallery or specific photo? I mean, we can pick any of the photos that are there.
All right. What about this one?
Which one is that one? Oh, that's the flat iron. That's a very nice photo. It's also one of the most popular and kind of early work. It's 1904. The flat iron, also, it's supposed to echo Whistler's Nocturne paintings. And it also slightly resembles Japanese ukiyo-e prints, which used to, probably the typical Japanese prints that they were used to do in wood blocking and stuff. And because of the branches of the trees coming on here, so
it's very moody.
Yeah, it's very moody, and it kind of wants to represent this big structure that raises above everything that is below it, everything that's happening in the streets. And then they say that he on purpose cut it because it's so huge, it's so big that it cannot be contained within the frame. So it's this grandiosity of this building over the little people that are happening around it. So it's done in a very similar technique to the moonlight, the previous one that we saw.
Yeah, I mean, it's very subtle, but you can see the different tones between these bulbs or whatever light sources here, and the overall image. I mean, it looks like a black and white image that has a tint, basically like a bluish tint, but then the lights, they almost are turning yellow, which is really, really subtle but really beautiful at the same time. And again, if you came in late to the episode, because I can see some people joined later, I just want to point out that these photos are in early 1900s. This one is in 1904, and if any color photos you see, they're not made traditionally. They're always made in a weird, crazy process.
Alternative process.
Yeah, the process probably doesn't exist anymore.
Actually, he was one of the first person to also embrace the autochrome.
Of course.
He was he was the first photographer to actually use it in the US. It was more the European people that started to experiment with this. So we talked about autochrome before, that you make these glass plate color transparencies. And actually, the Lumiere brothers came up with it, which I didn't know about it.
Yeah, no, that is true.
Yeah, I know it's true, but I somehow I have pass my mind that it was the Lumiere brothers, because we know the Lumiere brothers from movies, right? For making the first motion picture movies ever.
They came up with it, and basically these guys picked it up and couldn't let it go. Especially Kuhn, he was obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Do you know if there's any of these examples that is a
I don't
color
think
one?
No, but if you go to the perhaps
the
to
MoMA
the MoMA one, there might be some color photos. I am not sure if any of those.
Yeah, so let's
maybe
do this.
Maybe. No,
this is not what I'm looking for.
No, maybe in the ArtNet one then.
It's all right.
We will come across some, I think.
All right, so we were looking at I opened this one.
Yeah,
the
Thinker. There is two for Rodin. Can you open the one that is called the Balzac?
I can try.
Is it not there?
I don't see it.
Oh. What?
Technical difficulties. I can look it up.
If you put a stage then Balzac, I thought I put it because I actually made a lot of notes about that one.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah. So we actually talk also about that the Stieglitz brought a lot of Rodin's. Rodin was a sculptor and brought to the US a lot of the sculptures and conceptual drawings that he did before he actually made his sculptures in the studio. And they were the first time that this kind of work was actually shown to the public, and it was a little bit controversial. So Rodin was commissioned to make a statue of Balzac. Balzac was a French writer from time before, and he was commissioned to do this, and he got obsessed with Balzac so much that it took him 7 years to do the work that he was commissioned to do in 9 months. He really, really wanted to capture the essence of the person that Balzac was, rather than just a likeness in the statue. So he got really obsessed. He read everything about Balzac, all the pieces of work that he wrote, all the things that it was about him, and then he came up with this statue, which was very different and very let's say strange to a lot of people about how it looked. So actually Rodin, he presented this 9 years after to the people that pay him to do this, and they liked it so little that they rejected it, and he took it super personally. He thought that it was a personal attack against him. A lot of the people that we know from Paris back in the time, like painters and photographers, were actually sending letters on behalf of Rodin, that this was actually a masterpiece of art. This sculpture should actually be out there, people to see it. But it never really got anywhere. So 10 years after all this ordeal, Rodin decided to put this Balzac. It's actually a plastic mold, not really the iron cast or the copper, the metal cast one, outside in his terrace, and he called Steichen, Edward, to take photos of it. So he spent a whole night taking photos of this sculpture, and Rodin was so amazed by the result that he was like, this is how the world is gonna know my Balzac. You just captured exactly what I wanted this statue to be. And actually 22 years after Rodin passed away, they were able to cast the real statue, and it's now in France somewhere. So this has a happy ending. But it was very tumultuous story of Rodin and this particular piece of art. And for him, the way that Edward actually represented this, at night he took exposures in between 15 minutes and 1 hour, all between like 1 a.m. to 4 to 5 p.m. 5 a.m. there are different photos of it, and it's just crazy. It is actually haunting when you really look at how the sculpture is and how it was photographed by Edward. Is really kind of upsetting. It
is so cool though. I like this.
It is really nice. Rodin said, "You will make the world understand my Balzac with your pictures," when he gave the prints a few days later after taking the photographs. And I'm not sure if there are some others that we might actually come across, but this is one of them. And then
you thought of this one because you saw this one. So like when I showed you the other one. So what's the story with this one?
no, this one. There's no story. It's just also one of his very, very popular. So he spent some time with Rodin in Paris and took quite some photos of him as well. And this is the popular thinker statue of Rodin as well. So he did a lot of this kind of work, but after the war, he became very famous because all the exposure, let's just call it like that, because everyone understands that he got of his work through camera work and through the gallery with stillage. It wasn't really that big. It was maybe a couple of hundred people. Say that up to 1,000 people might have seen these scenes by the camera work, but it wasn't a lot of people. So after the First World War, he started to do more portrait and fashion photography. One of the first portraits. Okay, we're looking at this. So another thing for why Edward is popular or known is for being coined the first fashion photographer of history. So before these photographs that we're gonna see now here, there wasn't really a representation of fashion on photography and on magazines. So this is an example of the first of its kind.
It's 1911.
It's 1911, yeah, pretty early on.
That's what, like 110 years ago.
That's a lot of years, actually, if you look at it like this.
So here we're seeing like some sketches.
Yeah, so these are the how fashion was actually illustrated before. It was with these kind of drawings. So he actually did a really nice work of doing very similar, mimicking the way that the models were positioned, how the different garments were actually shown. So this is a really nice example of what later became to be more like proper fashion photography. And he actually, where did I actually got that? But that's later on. This is the first work, but later on in 1923, he actually started to do more street photography and fashion photography, and he was hired by one of the biggest publishers of fashion for a salary of $35,000, which is an equivalent of $500,000 in 2019 value.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I know. This is the last one. I really, really like it.
This one here?
Yeah.
These are cool.
I think where do I have?
Let's see. Here's an autochrome.
Oh, yeah.
While
nice.
we find the next...
yeah, that's Gertrude Cassivier, which I also want to talk about her sometime. It's from the same time. She did a lot of abstract work, very cool abstract work. So we will talk about her.
It's a different Gertrude.
Yeah, the other was Gertrude's.
Yeah,
actually.
I was thinking that did we already talk about her, or is it a different person?
No, yeah.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things. It's an autochrome.
Yeah.
Which is basically the first type of color photographs. Again, 1907. Crazy. Right. Let me see what we missed here.
What do we have there?
We have a bunch of stuff.
There is one that is titled, maybe you can pick it up, is J.P. Morgan portrait from 1903.
Got it.
Yep. So this was actually one of the first portrait work that he did in 1903, quite early on, because there was this German painter who contacted him to minimize the setting time required to his busy subject. So this is a painter that wanted to make a paint about this guy.
Did you notice the knife that he's holding?
No, I actually did not.
Look, he's holding a knife. It's a scary photo.
So, yeah. So after photographing Morgan in the pose requested by the painter, because that was for the painter. So the painter would use that to make a painting of him.
All right.
Because this was a very busy man, so he couldn't really stay in front of the painter to get the painting done as they needed. So then the painter contacted Edward. Oh my God.
Okay.
To make this photo, and then he would take it. But he was allowed to make a second negative for himself. So after doing that one, he did this one that I suppose we are seeing here, because the other one he was given away. And he says it shows an intense and assertive Morgan provoked by the photographer's posing instructions to reveal more personality than he intended.
So I wonder if that's why he pulled the knife, or he was upset about Edward asking him to show his knife.
Right.
I don't know. It's a really cool photo. I mean, think about it. Yeah, it's like because before that, basically the photographers would use the painters would use the camera obscura if they wanted to.
But the subject had to be inside.
Yeah, regardless. So if they wanted to make not a stencil, what's the word?
Yeah,
to trace.
Yeah.
Then they would use a camera obscura, or then they would the subject would sit there and they would paint them. But then they hire a photographer
to make
so they can go. Yeah. I remember, I don't know if I'm remembering this right, but I think it was like in some touristy place I was visiting as a kid. There would be these artists in the street that they would make a painting of you, but they also, some of them would actually take a photo of you if you don't want to sit there. So if you're in the market or you're visiting
take a photo and then you come back and you pick it up.
Yeah, so they take a photo of you and then you go on your walk, come back like an hour later, and your painting would be there. So kind of the same thing. All right. Next up.
These are of the series of the very early work that made him very popular among photographers.
1899.
Yeah.
This photo. Crazy. I mean, sometimes you still get photos like that. I mean, in terms of like grain.
And all these photos that we're seeing here, especially these early ones, were the first ones that were exhibited at the gallery when he had an exhibition.
Right.
First time. Like this one also was included.
This one is so cool. This one almost looked like, I don't know if you see it, but the cloud almost looked like a tree.
Yeah, it does actually.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It almost looks like a tree with a tree reflection on the water because of this kind of darkness here in the center. It implies to me like a tree trunk with the tree reflecting on the water. It's so beautiful. There's two versions here. Why? Yeah, I guess it's one that is more contrasty than the other. All right.
We still haven't talked about Ansel Adams, which is, the crazy man of making over and over prints of his negatives throughout his whole life and changing them as he. It's so cool. We should definitely.
I mean, there's so much stuff about Ansel.
Yeah.
On the internet. I feel like what value can we add to the conversation? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, and a lot of people know about him, but it's just so nice to look through his photos.
Yeah, of course, I would like to as well, but there's a lot of photographers that I feel like are less known.
Yeah,
and it'd be interesting to me at least too, because as I said before, a lot of the times I show up here, I have no idea what we're gonna look at, so I enjoy it.
Yeah,
I enjoy it the same as like everybody who's watching.
And this is a photo of him with his first wife, actually. You want me to give a gossip?
Give me.
When he was like
People
80-something
gossip.
year old, he married
18?
25.
What? You said 18.
When he was 80.
80.
80-something. He married a 25-year-old girl, and they were married until he passed away at 94. So.
All right.
He had 3 wives through his life.
I think we covered everything that you posted here.
All right. I guess so. I'm not sure if there's anything missing. Well, maybe just to mention that in the late 50s, no, what was it? No, on 1946, I think. I didn't write it. But he was actually appointed as director of the photography department at MoMA, at the Museum of Modern Art. And it wasn't really well taken because of which direction he had taken on photography, even though he was this person that made photography so well known as an art form.
Yeah.
He deviated from a lot of people that had other ideas. He went into commercial work. He kind of, according to Stieglitz, nothing less than apostasy, he was saying, about how he went. So a lot of the people that really wanted photography to succeed as an art were against him becoming the director of the photography department at MoMA. And even Ansel Adams wrote a letter to expressing the disappointment over this hiring, saying to supplant New Hall, who has made such a great contribution to the art through his vast knowledge and sympathy for the medium, with a regime which is inevitably favorable to the spectacular and popular, is indeed a body blow to the progress of creative photography. But actually then in his execution, for what I read and what I can at least make an understanding on, he did do a very good job as the director of photography of the MoMA. He was one of the first ones to work with Robert Frank that we already looked at. He was one of the first to bring Harry Callahan's work into the MoMA as well. So he did a really good work after that. So it was kind of not taken so good at the beginning, but I think, and he also actually chose Ansel Adams' photo, the moon over, the moonrise, to win a very big award, and he was in the jury, so he never really took it personally, I guess.
Cool.
All these things, so that's kind of nice.
We didn't talk about also his kind of like modern work, like we're looking at here. You did mention it briefly, but we didn't see some examples of it. I pulled up this one because we talked about the chicken like kind of painting.
Drawing.
And this is kind of, to me at least, to my eye, it falls in the same realm of like this kind of minimalist, geometric, modern
photography.
Photography.
I mean, he was still connected to camera work and the gallery at the Fifth Avenue, where was bringing a lot of this new stuff as well. So obviously he was gonna be influenced somehow. This is very surreal. For example, this is like the uncanny type of thing, like something that you really feel like to be close to you. You can recognize, but somehow it's like, why is it so strange?
Yeah.
Right. So he was being influenced, and he was also he helped Stieglitz bring a lot of the work that was going on in Europe. He was the main connection between the US and Europe. It was him. So he was exposed to these things over and over again, I assume.
Yeah.
I really like some of the botanics or like more abstract work done with plants and still lifes as well. I already mentioned it.
Backbone and ribs of a sunflower. Because to me, I at first glance, this photo, when I was looking at the full gallery and I saw a small thumbnail of it, I thought it was going to be a skeleton.
Yeah, right? It is. It looks like it could be.
These are cool. Are these 4 different people or no? It's a multiple. It's like that camera you pull a string and it takes 4 photos.
Yeah.
I'm sure he didn't use that though. Oh, it's Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't recognize him without the black hair and the mustache.
Yeah. I mean the hat is right there.
He became very, very popular because he took a lot of photographs from famous people after the war when he came back, and he was doing more portrait work, and he got this very, very, very good deal working for this publisher. He took photos of the Hollywood actors. He was like mingling with these people a lot. So he is actually more known for this than really the early work that it was so groundbreaking for photography. So I think more people know about him being this kind of famous people photographer than the early more artistic work. I mean,
isn't that like always the way? A lot of times, a lot of great work goes unnoticed because it's not popular or it's not directly related to popular things.
Yeah, so that's I think that's why Ansel Adams maybe was a little bit worried. Like, what is he gonna do being the director of this museum that is supposed to be doing this work for photography, and he's gonna now just focus maybe on what the public wants rather than what the art needs. So, but he did a good job, I think.
I bet. Hey Cedric, we're almost done here. How's your vacation going? It's cool. Cedric is just popped in. He's on vacation. He's
Norway.
On the road. I hope you made it safe. And I hope you're having a fun time. Yeah, but I think we kind of...
Actually, before we leave, can we just look into... if you go to the bottom one, to the Metropolitan Museum, gallery, we can see some of the work that he did in silk, which are really, really nice. I mean, here you can see a lot of different prints. Look at this one in the
This
right. No, the one on the left side of that one.
Hold on a second. This is a different version from the
Yeah,
first.
there's also a lot of different prints. That one is a different version. So this one is at 4 a.m. There's another one at 2 a.m. There's like, yeah, a lot of...
These are cool. How did we almost end without looking at these? I'm losing my voice.
Look, this is Stieglitz there.
I saw him. Yeah, this one actually, I think we looked at this photo
Yeah.
in Alfred's episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these are so cool.
I think you can put that the page shows you 80 per page or something like that.
All right. I hope it
And
doesn't
then you can-
reload.
yeah,
did
it does.
reload. Oh, we can just go through them. Another autochrome. Oh, this one is cool.
Cedric saying, I'll catch up. Yes, I joined the family. Nice. Steichen brings back photography history courses. I guess you guys now can feel like I'm taking a course. You all are taking a course with me.
Yeah, this one definitely has more color in it.
Yeah.
The tint is only covering the sky. It's not really affecting the building or the... It kind of isolated the tint to the sky in this one here, which is really crazy. I would really love to know like exactly
I would really
how.
like to see the negative.
I wish there was a video of him working on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like I was in the room, but both things are impossible. This is another one of the
Balzac. Yeah. So that's this one is like, if you read the text, also says something like it's like a hunting ghost that is there. Like,
yeah, this one is definitely, to me at least, more ominous than the first one we looked at.
And also the thing is that he was so disfigured in this statue.
Mm-hmm.
This is what happened with Rodin when he was so obsessed with it. He just wanted to it be a psychological portrait or a psychological representation of him rather than that how he actually looked like. So a lot of people were repulsed by it. It's like, no, this guy didn't look like this. He was like a bit hunching. He had a very broad neck in the statue, so it was very deformed. So that's also why it just like looks there. It's like kind of about to hand you sort of thing.
And so you wanted me to pop in here for the...
So if you go back to the gallery, maybe, I mean, we can go through all of these if you want. There's a lot. He did a lot of work.
Triumph of the Egg. I love this.
Yeah. This is very surrealist.
I really love photos of eggs, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I think the eggs are such a beautiful shape.
Mm-hmm.
And I always, whenever see photos of eggs, I'm always happy.
You have not been to the Dalí Museum, right?
No.
Yeah, we'll go when we go to Spain. You're going to be so happy. There are eggs everywhere.
No, I've seen the paintings.
No, but sculptures as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna enjoy it. Okay, you want me to go back to the gallery?
I think it was here when I saw.
Look at this one. I keep getting distracted.
Maybe I wasn't. I don't know.
No, this one we looked at a different print of it as well. The first one we looked at had much less shadow detail.
This is so pretty.
But look at these flowers or whatever you call them on the tree. They're so beautiful.
The blooms.
So nice. So nice. I mean, this is definitely pictorialist.
I mean, a lot of his early work.
No, but just so I get my
like
definitions straight. You would look at this and like this is a pictorialist photo.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But I mean, also the Flatiron, you would look at it and you would say, you would even have trouble saying, is this a painting or is it a photo?
Yeah.
Right? Unless you actually have the print in front of you.
I mean, look at this. Again, I keep saying how much I love the tones of autochromes. Can you people understand me? Like, do you understand this fascination that I have with this? It's just so beautiful. I mean, something about it. The reds.
The reds is the reds.
Always the reds.
The reds.
They're so... I mean, I'm guessing these are leather gloves. So they're brown.
Brownish, yeah.
But still, like, all of the reddish hues, they just come out so good in this. Excuse me.
Saha.
Shukran. So, all right, let's focus on the task at hand. Do you want to see some silk stuff?
Yeah, I hope it was here when I saw it. Silk patterns, maybe it wasn't here. Let's see.
Sorry if I'm scrolling too fast. We're trying. Okay.
I think it
still
might not be
fine.
here. Let me see if I find it in
Okay,
our
I can
links.
Google it.
It's okay because I might be on the art. No. I swear to you, I saw it
Found
somewhere.
it.
You found it, yes. Yeah, this is one of them, I think.
Oh, this is sugar cubes. This is so cool.
This is a photo. This is not what I was saying.
Okay, but you know, this reminds me of the one from Gertrude's, the Rorschach one with the baskets.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's very different, but it's this like two light shadow. It's just that we was it last week we looked at it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, this is interesting. You can, in the page of the Met, you can filter by object type material. So we can see, whoa, there's so much. There's 2,000 results for Edward.
That is crazy. Yeah, I'm looking here.
Silk. Yeah, if you get silk, maybe we get, yeah, those ones.
Where
Down is S.
I-
Silk.
I can't see. Hold
You
on.
passed it, I think. It was there on the second column.
I'm blind.
Or,
There.
yeah.
Found it. Oh, these are so cool.
Yeah, they're very, very, very nice.
I'm just opening a bunch of them.
So the other ones, yeah, it's, but the first at the beginning are the ones from him. This is some other stuff.
Right. So what's happening here? This is basically just textile design.
Yeah, so this is drawings that he did, and then it's on silk. So it's a drawing on silk.
All
I
right.
assume
It doesn't say much in the description.
it's a printed silk. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know so much about fabrics, honestly, to really dig into this one, but I really like it.
I
Look at
just
this one.
I just love the patterns and the structures. Ooh.
Yeah, sorry about the ambulance.
And the one that is crazy is, can you go back? Maybe
this
it's
is
not here.
so. This is threaded. It's basically like a thread. It's
No,
not
it's silk, and then it's printed. It's like the silk is used as if it would be paper.
okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So these are not actual buttons. No.
No.
Okay. Just because I read the text here, it says button and thread textile.
But that's I think the
The
illustration.
title.
So there is one which, if you look at it, it feels like it's moving.
This one is kind of similar to the sugar cubes
Yeah.
one, but it's just more randomized.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It feels like it's moving. Which one is it?
No, it's not this one. You didn't open it, I think.
All right.
It's
This one? The first?
No.
One? This one?
Yeah.
Let's see. Optical illusions.
You don't feel it? Put your eyes across it. Like, try to go from corner to corner. It feels like there is a forward and a background, foreground and background that are
Yeah.
moving different directions.
Yeah, I see it now.
It's so cool.
It's so annoying that I'm looking at the screen.
Just
at an
move it.
angle.
Don't worry.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of stereograms.
What are those?
Stereograms. Let's play a game. Let's see if you guys can see it as well. Stereograms.
I think I used to play that with my parents when I was a kid. The ones that you do like this and you start to see things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically like a 3D
Yeah.
image embedded in a 2D
Yeah, I remember. And then
noise.
they say if you bring it very close to your face and then you slowly put it away, then you start seeing the image.
Yeah, I mean, I just know how to see it. I can't really explain
Yeah,
it.
I used to play this when I was a kid. Really
I'm
cool.
looking at a very small screen over there. Let's see if I can see. And I can tell you what I'm looking at. All right. This is a podcast. I should be talking.
Try. I remember that I would bring them very close to my eyes and then slowly put them away, and then I would be able to see the image.
Yeah, I can't see this one. This one is not good.
This one is so good.
This one is broken. Devin is saying, I used to be able to see them, but I can't now. Is this what's happening to me? I think we're just finding bad ones. Hold on a second. Because I know the trick is basically that
You have to bring it close and then
No.
go away.
what you
No?
need to do is to unfocus or change the focus.
I'm gonna start doing this. People are gonna say, "Why is she doing?"
Yeah, you have to basically cross your eyes just a little bit to throw
I don't
off.
see it.
to throw off.
Oh yeah, almost. Oh, it feels like I'm putting so much effort. Ah! What? Can you guys see it? I can't see it.
Damn.
We're broken.
Am I old now? Is this what's going on? Is this old age? Hold on a second. I'm not gonna leave before I can see this one. You're gonna see me have a mental breakdown today. Welcome to the show. Wait a second.
I can't see it. It's very small.
I mean, don't strain your eyes if you're.
Let me see. Talk.
I can't. I'm focused. I don't think it works if
can't. It used to work like this, I swear to you. Because that's how you get unfocused. I can do it now. It all looks like broccoli to me. Is it broccoli? Tell me if it's broccoli.
Something is very weird happening with my eyes. Hold on a second.
It's broccoli.
It's broccoli?
Broccoli. And Cedric is like, my eyes.
Wait a second. I have to figure this out.
He is really trying very hard. Maybe your sunglasses don't allow you to see it. Maybe without sunglasses it's better because you don't focus.
Wait, I see it.
What is it?
It's an airplane. It's an airplane. I can see it. It's an airplane.
Devon said, airplane. He said, like, I made this one out.
Yeah, it's pointing in this direction. So you can't see my cursor. It's the end of the airplane is here. This is the nose of the airplane and the wings are going this way.
No idea. I'm broken. Bye.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking, Devin. He says, I still have my youth. I'm not old yet. Let's see if we can get 2 out of 2. No, we're not counting all the ones that we couldn't see before, right?
No.
Let's see if he beats me to it.
What are the two red dots there?
I think that's basically to help you. You just sorry for moving it, but okay, I'm gonna put it back. Let's focus. I think this is to help you move, or I don't know, to help you see it. I mean, I did read that it's a skull, by the way.
Why did you see it? They say it.
I accidentally read that it says here, right?
Uh-huh.
It says, "Do you see the skull?"
I don't see it. I don't see anything. Pass to the next topic.
Wait. I see it.
You see it? Where is it?
It's coming together. I think it's on this side of the frame.
Her look is like, this is so weird.
It is weird. Welcome to the weirdness.
Uh-oh.
Come on. Let's do it.
Maybe. Power your brain. No.
No, my eyes stopped working. I can't see anything. Wait a second.
This is a very tasty Pepsi.
Not a sponsor.
Mango. Not a sponsor, sadly. My mom is gonna ask me again, why are you drinking Pepsi?
Hold on, I'm gonna fill the frame.
1% juice.
I mean, that's more than I expected, to be honest.
Yeah. Mango Pepsi.
I usually expect 0 juice when I'm drinking Pepsi.
This is mango Pepsi.
Oh, look, it was completely on the other side. It was right here.
Your brain was making it up.
I was saying it here, I swear. Maybe there's 2. I mean, look, proven from the Zinstacks episode. People love to watch me struggle.
Her look is, I could see the plane, but this one I can find the shape.
Yeah.
Lol, I wish someone look at me the way Jimmy looks at stereo. Me too.
What? Hold on. Let's see this one.
I'm joking.
Let's see. I mean, because this one, it looks like the ones that I'm used to. when I was a kid, my aunt had a bunch of these, and one had dolphins, and it looked the same colors, like the same patterns as this. And yeah, I immediately see it. Yeah, this is a good one. I immediately
Wait,
see
don't
this
say
tricycle.
anything. Don't say anything.
It says on the text, you can read it.
I,
It's a tricycle. All right? But you can
fun.
you can still try to see the
I
tricycle.
can't. Now my brain makes it up.
No. So let's see. Come on, boys. Let's do this. Devin, had a look. I want you to give it a try if you want.
So polite.
Yeah, I noticed midway half the sentence. Why am I bossing people around? I'm just encouraging. Okay, don't misunderstand me. It's a cool tricycle.
I don't see it. I'm sad.
Yeah, it's going in the left direction. So the back two wheels are on this side and the front wheel are here, and it has the pedals. All right, I'm gonna give you a little bit more.
No.
You're looking at it too close. Yeah, right? This one is good. It is really good, this one.
Can you point again where things are?
All right, so let me double check. Okay, so this is the front wheel here, and the back two wheels are here, and the steering thingy is here.
I think I kind of see it, but not super clear. Anyhow, I'm old.
Yeah, I mean, I can move my eyes around the frame, and I can actually see it kind of like move side to side. I'm answering to Devin.
Yeah.
It's you kind of have to, I guess, relax. Like once you find it, just relax. And I think because I have stigmatism, so I think I have my eyes are, yeah, I can still see it without the glasses.
Good.
So
Dustin is like, lol, plot twist is nothing.
no, it is actually, you can see it. Anyways, that's enough of that.
Yeah, Xiaomi saying remember, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it was her, the one that showed
Yeah,
you.
I don't see her message in the chat.
Oh, now she took it away. I saw it for a moment.
Yeah, Sham is, well, she's probably watching late. Then she heard me saying that I used to see them at her place. Yeah, I remember you had a dolphin one, and you had there was one that was really cool. It was a tree trunk that had fallen, and a few deers jumping around, and it was red and yellow and brown, so it looked like the whole forest was on fire.
Oh, cool.
It was one of my favorite pictures growing up, and I used just to she had them framed, so I was just like take it and sit and like just look at it for a long time.
I used to have a book of them actually.
Cool.
Yeah, probably somewhere at my parents' place.
Right. So, anything else we wanted to get into today?
I think that was all for today. Actually, we look at our photographer of the week and our photos of the week, and we gave away a camera.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I think I'm assuming that our winner is in a part of the world where it's night time now, because I still haven't got a response. But I sent a message. I'm guessing if they don't respond in 3 days,
we draw it again, I guess.
we draw again, and then we contact the next person. But we just do it.
Yeah, locally.
I mean, we don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that concludes that. It was so fun.
It was fun. I'm very happy that the video did really nicely. I'm really looking forward to put on more videos.
Yeah.
Because we've been shooting quite a lot. We have not shown the results.
Should I talk about this one that I'm holding in my hand?
If you want.
Because this one is a tricky one. So Eva shot this film that I'm holding here. We shot a video for it.
Which make me happen this.
She's crying about walking around for half an hour with an RZ. Come on.
It hurts.
I thought you go to the gym and practice.
I do, but I don't know.
Yeah, so I'll just tell you what it is. It's a Rollei CR200. So it's an expired roll of Rollei CR, which is color reversal. That's what CR stands for. And it's basically like slide film.
Mm-hmm.
It's expired in 2001.
But it was in the fridge.
Wait.
No.
Sorry, I can't read. It's expired in 2016. And we already shot it. And we're just waiting to develop it. Um, it's because the slide it's taking its time to get developed. But we also shot some Cinestill 50D and Vision 3 200D on the same day. I'm still working on those photos,
Yes.
and then when I'm done with them, I'll put the video together. Because I'm trying to make sure that I kind of like match the colors. I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of making the video showing the straight up inversion. So like when if you're using Negative Lab Pro, whenever you hit Control N and you do convert, and you get without any adjustments how
What
it
you get.
looks,
Mhm.
because I feel it's important to show that. Okay, bye, Dustin. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Hope to see you back.
What was I saying? Yeah, I think it's important to see how much work goes into a photo to look the way it looks, even though, because a lot of people think it's straightforward. A lot of people talk about,
I don't get the colors I want. Why does
Yeah.
it look like this?
Tim is not here today, but I shared a lot of the photos with him. We shared a lot of the photos with him when the role that you shot, because we got it from him. It was like, okay, here's what it looked like
You want me to send you the contact print?
in the contact sheet.
The contact sheet?
I think I have it on my computer.
Oh yeah, you do. I think
Yeah, because that's where you exported it. All right.
it's on the
on the
desktop.
desktop. Yeah, I'm looking for it. Did I delete it? Why did I delete it? Oh no, these
Chronic Fish is saying, can we do a vlog on infrared film at some point
yeah, I actually shot a roll of infrared.
without infrared in it?
Yeah. Is this the 250D? Did you make one for the 50D?
No, because you haven't finished. When I did that, you had not finished your edits.
Yeah. All right. So it's a sneak peek. Yeah. So
we changed the edit since this one. So
yeah. So
I feel like
this is the roll, Eva's contact sheet. This is 250D, and they look all right here now that I'm looking at them. But again, this is what you shared with Tim the first time, or this is the second edit?
no, this is the first edit.
So this is the first edit. It changed a lot since not a lot, but a bit. And a lot of times, like, photos would look different from one point to the other. So like you're standing over here, take a photo, and
Because
you have
the light is different.
and you would have some color cast, and you go somewhere else and you have completely different color cast. So in some photos you have a lot of magenta, in some other photos you have a lot of cyan. And here's what I think. I mean, I love Negative Lab Pro. It's not a
Criticism? Or?
it's not, yeah. I think it's a software after all, and it's gonna determine.
For you some stuff,
It's gonna read the image, because you see when you click invert, it looks at the photo and it determines a lot of points in the photo, and these are the highlights, these are shadows, these are the main color points. I don't know how it works, but it analyzes the photo, and then it gives you something out of it, right? And yeah, but I think then you have to correct. Andrew is saying that Negative Lab Pro isn't really neutral. I rarely get what I want from it. It doesn't like low end digital cameras. I've heard a lot of stuff about people having issues with Negative Lab Pro, and I've had a lot of issues with it. I even went back to doing it completely manually in Photoshop, and I get great results that way. But I'm also, once I learned how to use Negative Lab, I'm finding that I get what I want much faster. I don't have the same amount of control, but it's just, I think the workflow really plays a role. So like, you really have to go through the exposure mode, like presets, let's call them, that they have. So they have the cinematic ones, and then they have the lab ones, and then the linear ones. And after you hit analyze, I never do batch anymore. After you hit analyze on the photo, you have to determine that, like, this photo it maybe the cinematic doesn't work, for example. I have to go
Yeah,
lab.
it's not. It really. There's no one setting that works for all. Yeah.
Yeah, because some photos have a lot of like whenever the initial inversion happens, there's a lot of exposure. So and if you're in the lab settings tend to boost exposure. So I would then go to linear, and then if linear is still too much, then I go to cinematic, because cinematics gives you the lowest white point, and lab gives you the highest white point. But then if my black point is not there, for example, if I want more contrast, like this kind of contrast that kind of wraps around the shapes, kind of like defines the edges, then I would go to something like linear gamma or linear deep or cinematic rich. With the lab ones, I only use standard or soft. I rarely use other things. And then from there, you have to do your adjustments before you even touch the color. You know, like the photo is still probably looking like a complete blue mess at this point. Everything is zero in the corrections. And then you jump into the corrections, the color corrections. I usually go through them really quickly. I used to just go neutral or warming or you know, or cooler or whatever. I rarely ever use them again. I really find, you know, that if I just move the white balance sliders by myself to get an approximate idea of what I want, and then boom, I jump into the mid shadows and highlights, and I added there another tip. I don't know which version you have on the latest version, or at least the one that I have. You have in the highlights and the shadows, you have a range slider. I usually keep it at 1 or 2. So I'm really only affecting the highlights or the shadows. I find that negative lab, whenever you have it, it comes default on 5, and I feel on 5 it's actually kind of overspilling into different parts of the image. So I keep it at 1 or 2, and then when I make the correction that I want, I move it a little bit and see, okay, it's going too much, or I actually like it more at 5. For example, it's like I'm not able to reach my mids unless I reach them from the overspilling highlights or something like that. So you have to see, it's a bit of work, but I feel like I'm able to get those results faster, especially with the contrast, especially with the levels. With Photoshop, color work is much easier, but then I have issues getting my contrast levels where I want them. It's more complicated than negative lab. Devin is saying I'm almost 100% cinematic rich or linear deep. Yeah, cinematic rich is one of the ones I use a lot. I also use the log and flat.
I like the flats, actually.
Yeah, I like
and then maybe I bring up a little bit of the contrast myself.
My sliders look crazy after I use the flat one. They're like all the way maxed out in some of them. It's like, no, this shouldn't look good, but it does. I just go crazy with it to see what it looks like. And sometimes using the flat and then pushing your sliders a lot was going to get you a similar result to the rich or to the deep or gamma.
Or in between if you want to.
Yeah, but just right before it. And so if I want to decrease the contrast from what I'm getting with those heavier ones, I feel like coming back from
a lot of contrast to no contrast or less contrast, it's worse than...
Yeah, so what I was trying to say is going from flat to more contrasty, to me, sometimes feel better than...
From contrasty to flat, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
But it's not always. A lot of the times it's actually turning off some of the contrast on the contrasty ones. What is that? Okay, so Andrew is saying the Negadoctor module from Darktable let you set your black and white point and neutralize the colors. To me, it gives better starting point. Yeah, I played around with Darktable as well, and I tried it out, and it's really cool. I was actually pleasantly surprised by how it works, and I enjoyed working with it. But the rest of the application is so alien to me. I've never used it before. I've never used what's the other application?
Affinity?
No. I think Darktable is it's either the same or very similar to the other one. What's the free alternative to Photoshop?
GIMP.
Yeah. So I think they're very similar.
Mm-hmm.
They both are very confusing to me because sometimes I click things and they don't respond how I expect them to respond.
Mm-hmm.
And if I try to, so the Negadoctor module in Darktable actually is usable, and it works. You just basically open it. I can actually give you an example now. Do you want to get into this? No, she's like, no. She's looking at me. What are you doing? Yeah, you just like take your cursor and you draw basically squares. So it's kind of like using the dropper tool in Photoshop when you want to set your black and mids and highs, but then you also do that for your negative.
For the conversion.
And the software does the conversion itself. So you tell it basically, this is where I want my highlights.
Interesting.
And it's really cool to work with it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Since I already have Photoshop, I use Photoshop. And with Photoshop, I do, if you hold down, I think it's either Option or Control. I don't know what it is on Windows. Button. And you use your curves. Then you see, as you move your black and white points, you see what you're clipping. So it kind of like gives you like a completely red screen or blue screen to show you your clipping points. And I like working that way because the rest of the application works perfectly for me. I know how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you can do the same stuff on GIMP and Darktable. I found it confusing and harder to work with because I'm used to Photoshop. And from there, I can really play around with my image. Like I can apply different color balances to different parts of the image using masks and stuff like that. And again, there's, it could be a controversial thing. Excuse me, but I think, to me, I have made my peace about editing photos the way that I do. If I'm working for a client, I will do whatever it takes to make the photo the way they like it. I don't care if I liquefy or remove things or like Photoshop images, take the subject from one image to the other because I got better expression in one, but the better background in another one.
Mm-hmm.
HDR, anything they want, anything I have to do to make the photo good for a client, I will do that. If it's paid work, if it's commercial work, stuff like that. For my work, I try not to take these habits with me. So I'm not removing anything. I don't even remove dust. Hardly. I ever, like even dust or hairs that don't exist on negative. They were literally on the scan. So they're not a part of the negative. Sometimes I would keep them there. I would just focus on the colors and make sure that I use the tools that I have to get the image that I had in mind when I took the photo. I think that's the most important thing. I think this is good advice for everybody who's starting out or struggling with getting their results. Remember that all of these are tools to help you get what you want. So if you use whatever software, Silverfast or Epson Scan or whatever that gives you these automatic, don't get too hung up on that. If you're shooting Kodak and there's a button in your software that says Kodak and you click it and then this is what I get. I think this is not really helpful because you're gonna really, get frustrated trying to do something in the camera or the development or the lighting or the exposure to get what you think you should be getting, while it might be impossible because what you have in mind includes post-processing.
Of a specific way.
Yeah. So it's like, you see some influencers or famous photographers, stuff like getting certain results with Portra and stuff like that, and you're never able to match them in camera. That doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It means that they're most probably editing their photos.
Of course. Everyone edits the photos.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of people are upfront about it. There's like Willem Verbeek is a really famous photographer on YouTube, and you probably know who he is. And I think he really has nice colors, like the colors and the tones he has on his photos. Like if you look on the ones he did in, what's the place in the north? Svalbard,
Svalbard.
his latest zine.
He also shot digital there.
Did he? I don't know. I
I
think,
think so.
most of the photos I think were with the RZ,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm surprised it didn't die on him. I think it did a few times. If you look at these photos, they're very well, like they're really good looking. Everything is so clean. It almost looks like, I don't know how to express it. But what I'm trying to say, he was also upfront about it, that he edits his photos. He actually has a video on YouTube from a while back, showing that after he inverts, he takes the photo into Lightroom and he does a lot of edits with it. A lot of other photographers do that. I think Nick Carver is one of the photographers who I also really like. I actually really like his work and his videos. I think he's my favorite channel on YouTube. But
More than Smarter every day.
Smarter Every Day? What about him?
You like him too a lot.
Yeah, but
You
it's
mean
not,
photographer? Okay.
yeah, but
Photography channels.
among my favorite channels, Smarter Every Day is up there, but it's not like top one. What do we say is top one? I don't know. What is
I don't know.
this discussion? Sorry.
Mark Rover. Mark
wait,
Rover is really good.
Yeah, but what was I saying is that a lot of people might, if you like Nick's work and you think like he doesn't really edits the photos, but he also does, like sometimes he's shooting and he wants it to
He
look.
does edit his photos.
Yeah, because he makes a point about it, and that it's like doesn't like to edit so much, but don't get it confused. He does work on the colors, and
Of course.
he does talk about it. And in a lot of videos, he shows you how much he edits. Like there's a video on how to use Silverfast, and you see him doing adjustment in Silverfast and then taking it to Lightroom and making more adjustment there. But again, I think the point that he usually makes is that he doesn't go for these crazy popular.
Or changes the
Yeah,
scene.
changes.
He's true to himself and he does the edit that he fits best for the creative vision that he has for that image.
Exactly.
But like, don't get mistaken. Every photographer that personally takes care of the process from negative to picture, everyone has to color edit their pictures.
Especially with negative film.
Everyone.
If you're shooting slide, you might keep it the way it is.
Yeah,
but
maybe slide, yeah. But
again, it depends. Like, so for example, if I'm using my mirrorless to scan my slide,
you might have to do some HDR type of thing.
I might
and
have to
put
do HDR. I need to nail the white balance in camera.
Yeah.
Because if my white balance is not accurate to the light, who's there? Like, who knows how is it supposed to be seen? Because depending on the temperature of your projection light is gonna change.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm sure back in the day there are standard bulbs, so
Yeah.
these films were made to be used with projectors, but we're using LEDs.
Yeah.
And LEDs have variations, they have color shifts and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get too hung up on not editing your photos. Learn how to edit, practice, check out everything. Check out Darktable. Negative Lab Pro is good, but it's not the end.
The only
the only
solution, yeah.
solution. I like using Photoshop a lot if I'm not in a hurry. And Darktable is if you know how to use it. There's a bunch of tutorials online. I didn't get myself to watch many of them, but maybe one day I will look into it more, and because I'm interested in doing comparisons. I really wanted to go back to Chronic Fish comment before we sum up. I hope she's still there. Can we do a vlog on infrared film? Yes, I would love to do that. I would love to shoot infrared film, but I don't have a filter.
Yeah.
So
We need to get the filter.
and we need to get a filter, and I'm not sure which one to get. If
The size, you mean?
yeah, I'm not sure if we should, because we have so many different cameras and so many different filter threads, and I want to be able to like get a filter that I can use with the most.
Then better, and then step down rings.
Yeah. What?
Bigger, and then step down rings.
Yeah, but again, I'm not super happy about step down rings.
No?
Yeah, I like the filter holders, especially that we can
Oh.
like use it with anything then.
Hmm.
But these are expensive, and I have a lot of other things to buy. But yeah, we want to do that, and we want to do. I have a really cool idea for trichrome infrared. People have done videos on it. It's not earth-shattering. People have already done it, but I have to take it further, a few steps. So a lot of cool infrared and the trichrome stuff are coming, hopefully. But yeah, I have a lot of cool ideas that I want to do.
The list of possible videos in our document is so long.
It's just that I'm not complaining. We're so happy that suddenly we have a lot of work to do with photography stuff, and a lot of times we're stressed between jobs.
This week is crazy.
This week, how many shoots have you got this week? 5? Yeah. We
Yeah.
have one tomorrow.
I mean, the thing is that the time between shoots is not really free time. You have to
work and edit.
You have to edit and you have to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, we're not complaining. We're so happy about that. But it's just that it's kind of affecting how much we can put stuff on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're going to have a nice rhythm eventually. Especially, I'm excited that I'm switching back from Premiere to Final Cut. I still haven't edited anything. I've done some test stuff on Final Cut, and it's so much nicer to work with.
Good. The tool that is best is the tool that works for you. That's
Yeah.
basically it. Same with the camera. The best camera is the one that works for you and you have with you.
Exactly. I think, I don't remember who talked about this before, about the Mamiya RB, and I think it was, how was it? It was somebody on YouTube. I was like, I heard them talk about it, and I was like, that's so true. What's his name? Devin, you can help me probably. I think he's one of the photographers that YouTubers in the server. He's in South Africa.
Oh, sheepskin?
William Sheepskin. He did an RB video. I think it was him who said that. He was saying that when he first got that camera, his photography kind of took a hit. I hope I'm not confusing it with somebody else, but it was somebody who had an RB. Their photography took a hit because of how cumbersome the camera was to deal with. It was heavy, and you've dealt with the RB. And,
yes.
It's true. I was like, that is so true.
It is true.
Like, I basically jumped from the Olympus EM10 to the Mamiya RB67. So the Olympus EM10, I can't show it. I can show it to you, but it's like super tiny. It fits in my palm. It's smaller than my palm. It's a beautiful camera with image stabilization, silent shutter, digital camera, of course. And I love this camera. It's still my favorite camera. And it's basically weightless. And you always have it, wherever I go, I have it on my neck or on my shoulder, never feel it. And then went to an RB, which is super heavy, super bulky, super loud. There's no way, you have to be a ninja to take a photo unnoticed with an RB. And I'm basically, at the time, I was a very sneaky street photographer. And then going to that, it was a very, very different experience. Mm-hmm. And the amount of angles that I was able to get with the tilt screen of the EM10, it tilts only up and down. So it's a photographer's camera, not a video camera with a screen that flips out. And for photography, I definitely prefer the one that tilts like this because it keeps the silhouette of the camera smaller. Yeah, you can't get so much work with vertical stuff, but for most part, you're doing a lot of work. And I found that instantly, there was so many photos that I couldn't take anymore. There was still to this day, even though I got good using the RB, there's still many photos that I can't take that I'm able to take with the EM10.
Of course.
So
different camera.
Yeah, exactly. So I never take the RB out anymore. Like, it's basically now we just use it as a Polaroid camera because we have the Polaroid back for it, and it really gives you really good Polaroid. For me, paying how much I have to pay for Polaroid film, I feel better shooting it with a RB than shooting it with a normal Polaroid camera. I learned enough how to get decent, consistent exposures. I have a flash for it that works. I just set it to f5.6, and at a portrait distance, it gives me perfect exposures every time, the flash. So I figured it out, and it works for me. But I never take it out. It's never going to be like my street camera. For that, I use the RZ. And you might be thinking, well, how does that make sense? The RZ, it's not because it's lighter or anything. It's lighter with the viewfinder on. So if you have the eye level viewfinder, the RZ one is made of plastic, I think, or aluminum. I
It's
think.
metal.
Yeah, so it's not as heavy. The one of the RB is made from vibranium, or I don't know what it is. It's super heavy. It's like heavier than the camera, and it doesn't meter. It doesn't give you that like auto exposure function. And I like the ability of the cameras that I have, that I can basically have a medium format camera that I just focus and shoot, and it takes care of the exposure. So if I want to take quick photos, and I don't necessarily want to rely on Sunny 16, then I use the RZ. Otherwise, I use the Fuji, Sunny 16, or any of the other medium formats with no automatic functions for metering. So, yeah, the RB, as much as I really wanted to get it, and basically I really wanted to get it because I was hyped for Hasselblad, but I couldn't afford it at the time. No way. I was like, okay, I can afford an RB. And I got it, but my photography took a hit with it. If you're a portrait photographer sitting in a studio, or if you're taking landscapes and stuff like that, sure, it works. But for what I do, it was not necessarily like, I don't ask people in the street for their photos. Like, for example, William Sheepskin, he actually talks to people and asks them for their photos. That's not my style. I actually just take the photo. I don't do portraits. I just take like the whole scenery. You can see me use the RZ in one of our videos. If you want to see how I use it.
You see me using the RB in one of the videos.
Oh yeah, you did use the RB, but you had it on a tripod.
No, actually I did.
No, actually, did you have it on a tripod?
No, or
we had a tripod with us. I don't know if you used it, but like you were taking your time.
Yeah.
You were like focusing, changing.
I take my time.
Yeah. With the RZ, I just basically point and shoot, and I love what I get with it. But yeah, I have no idea how we got here. Thank you for the 5 people who are still watching. But yeah, we got on here to talk about. I mean, we're looking at these images that Eva took, and again, like, they look different now. Some of them, and the point of the story was like, edit your photos. Especially if you're shooting film, you're spending money on it, and don't just think that it's a one-click thing.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's not gonna.
Like this photo, for example, it looks nice. I like the cast that it has, but we ended up making it look completely different. And yeah, so yeah, I'll probably put them side to side in the video, or at least some of them. I will show you how they looked when I first clicked invert, and the final image that you're looking at post-edit. I think that would be cool and informative. But yeah, I think that's it. I was looking at last time I looked at the time, we were less than an hour. And I was like, oh, we're going to finish up soon. Like it's going to be a short one. And now I'm looking at the time again, and it's almost 2 hours. That's what happens. So for you who's watching, I woke up during the episode, so I'm super chatty now. But yeah, this thing is very strong. It has 200 milligrams of caffeine.
Ready for the day.
Usually my thoughts run faster than I can talk. Today my speech is running faster than I can think. So if I said a lot of stupid stuff, you know why. Anyways, I think that's it for today. Thank you everybody for watching.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for joining us and being with us in this important day in our first giveaway.
Yeah, you look exhausted. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, I had the vaccine this morning, so maybe.
Oh, you did? Your second shot. Nice.
Yeah.
Is your shoulder in pain?
They both hurt because of the gym, so I don't know.
All right. Well, everybody, enjoy the rest of your week. See you soon. And
next Tuesday, same time. Oh, actually, we can now announce maybe that next Tuesday we have a guest.
Let's not say who it is.
Yeah, we have a guest.
We're gonna have a live guest.
Keep tuned because we're gonna put out some to get some questions for this guest, and yeah, I hope everyone can join us.
It's good. It's possibly somebody you know.
Probably, maybe.
Yeah. All right. See you next week.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.